back and forth.
StreamYard?
Yeah, we're live now, but I use StreamYard sometimes if I'm going to do an interview, and then most of the time I use OBS. I like Slobs.
Not familiar with Slobs at all.
Oh, Slobs is really good. I mean, it's primarily for gaming, because it lets you like kind of superimpose images from your game and things while you're being viewed at the same time. And I think OBS kind of struggles. So Slobs is like it's free software, but it has a lot of other gadgets and things you can do. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We are live. I am the Crypto Crow. I am here with DBCrypto, who many of you are going to know now after his video yesterday where he shook the Solana world, rightfully so. And I saw you chatting on Twitter, and I thought, you know what, let's talk about it, because I saw how you were kind of talking about the way people have been reacting to you and reacting to that video. And I thought, okay, let's talk about it. What's happening? First of all, how are you? I mean, it's been about a day since you dropped the video. It's getting close to 10,000 views. It's obviously doing really well in terms of views. But what else is going on?
Yeah, it's been good. It's kind of been a whirlwind of a day. I'll admit I didn't get anything accomplished that I had probably planned on for a Tuesday, because the response was just it was obviously overwhelming, but it was good too. For the most part. There was other stuff that I had to take care of, and then we had our typical. I co-host a space every Tuesday and Friday, and we had that space, and our guests or our lineup and the amount of attendees was about 10x what we normally get. So that was kind of fun, and then we ended up going for about 2.5 hours. So pretty much didn't get much accomplished today. But yeah, it was great response overall. Lots of views, lots of people understanding the content. And I guess I was kind of surprised the amount of people that weren't aware of a lot of this at all, which is actually, I should say I'm surprised, but more so disappointed that just this stuff isn't more known. That unfortunately the bigger accounts really don't talk about this all that often, and it just gets brushed under the rug, and it's been going on for years, which is a shame for sure.
Yeah, I had touched like the early part of your video when I first started watching your video, because it just popped up, and the thumbnail at first made me think it was like another like automated video, like you see those a lot.
Oh yeah.
So I thought, oh, this is gonna be another automated like thing, and then I started watching. I'm like, oh, okay, no, it's a real person, okay, and and then you started going over a lot of what's been out for a long time, right? Because I'd covered it in a previous video myself, but I'm like, if you're going to start the whole story, you kind of have to start there.
Yeah.
But I thought, okay, but this is a really long video, and I know that, you know, this article that broke down a lot of that those early red flags isn't going to last 45 minutes. So I kept watching through it, and then you started getting into stuff I had never seen, all the way up to like present day things that, you know, I'm one of those guys where I watch a lot of that stuff, but I don't follow super closely to what's going on in other blockchains, because I'm not an investor. I don't care. Right. Like, but with Solana, like I always say on my channel, they make me care because they're constantly buying advertisements that are shitting on Cardano. And that, you know, it's like Cardano's about to go to hell. It's dropping like flies, and while Solana's up 8%, right? And it's like I see all this bullshit, and I get so mad about it. I'm like, let's go see what Solana's really doing, you know? And then I go look, and I'm like, oh, it's still the same shit show it always has been. It's just they're pumping out so much money into the ecosystem through all of the crypto news sites to create this narrative that people just gobble up like headline guzzlers. And it drives me insane because it works. Just like you just said, people, this information's been out there for a while, but so few people really know it because it's all covered up.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And so I talk about this and I dive into it a lot because I actually come from I have an education background. And so I enjoy learning and then teaching as well. So I follow and I check on this stuff quite often. I'm a vocal critic on a lot of things, and Ethereum and many other ecosystems as well, if I see something that's worth critiquing. And so this is really nothing new for me. sharing what I've learned. And I've been compiling this stuff for over 2 years. Honestly, the video was a lot longer than I even expected. When I went into it and I started filming, I was thinking 15 to 20 minutes tops.
That's how it always starts, right?
Yeah. And then I get to the editing phase. I start piecing all the pieces together. I'm like, holy crap, this is almost an hour. And I had to cut some stuff down and ended up cutting about 15, 20 minutes out of it or so. And there's still so much more that can be said too. That's the crazy part.
Well, that's the thing. I'm ready for round 2, man. Like, it's like, what else you got? Because, you know, I actually posted this. I don't know if are you in my influencer group on Telegram?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay. I'm going to get you in there. Basically back in 2017, I started a private invite only Telegram group. All the crypto YouTubers are in it. And it's, I always tell everybody, it's kind of like the hotel in John Wick. It's like you leave your beef at the door. Like, this is a safe place for everyone to collaborate, communicate with each other, reach out to one another. And it's done a pretty good job. And I've had different admins over the years that kind of help keep the place clean. And, you know, and it's like, I can go on rant sometimes in there, you know, sometimes I kind of yell at everybody because it's like if people are beefing, you know what I mean? And there's like toxicity. I'm like, you guys got to stop this shit. I've had to kick a few people out, you know, because I mean, I had, oh God, I can't remember his name now. The Pulse Chain Hex guy, you know, always running around in Louis Vuitton. Who?
The Richard Hart.
Richard Hart, yeah, he was always beefing with people. I'm like, dude, you gotta go. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, and it's like, I get it. A lot of people were always coming at him about different things, but he would get real abrasive and kind of pick fights sometimes. And I'm like, that's just not this. That's not what this place is for. There've been a couple people I've had to boot. Some of them I've let back, but it's just like a chill place. And you know, when your video came out, I threw it in the group and I pinned it. And I made an announcement. I'm like, every one of you guys needs to watch this video and you should probably all start talking about it. I'm like, and if you still continue to talk about Solana after watching all of this and seeing all of these facts and seeing everything laid out in front of you, then I'm sorry, but you don't give a shit about your followers. And because that's the way I look at it. And I hate to be so divisive like that, but it's all right there in front of everybody's face. And I feel like from here on, to me, it's like a conscious decision for people that want to continue promoting and touting this blockchain as worthwhile investments for their followers. I feel like you're really just lining your followers up to be burned. And I told everybody, I'm like, listen, I'm not going to judge you. I'm not here to like, you know, I'm not your parent, but I'm like, if you continue to push this shit, and one of these days you wake up and Solana crashed and everything's going to hell in a handbasket and you've got FTX all over again, you're going to lose all your followers overnight. How much are they valuable to you? How valuable are the people that watch your channel every day and help you feed your family? Because if they're not that valuable, then you keep pushing this bullshit and you keep pushing these narratives about number go up in this meme coin economy on a shit coin that's crashing all the time. Like, you know, like, and so, I mean, I'm curious to see if your video has any impact on some of these guys. Cause I was starting to get, you know, a lot of guys responding to it. Like, oh, I've always hated Solana. Oh, I've always known Solana was shit. Like it's always, you know, and it's like, cool. You know what I mean? But I've noticed that a lot of the bigger people have been silent. So I'm like, you know, okay, so what are you guys going to do? You know, and so in a way, yeah, man, I'm kind of using your video to like spearhead a movement of people that really start getting educated because like you said, not enough people seem to know. And I feel like it's one thing if everybody is conscious of everything that you put out, and then they make a conscious, educated decision. Well, okay, so it's a very dangerous world. So's the red light district, you know, so is going down to like, I don't know what the seedy parts of different cities are at midnight, you know, because you're looking for love or something like that. But you're like, you know what? I'm lonely. I don't care if I get mugged. I just want something, you know? And it's just like, if that's how you feel about it, but you know, it's probably a limited time frame that you're going to be able to mess around in that ecosystem before the shit hits the fan, then more power to you.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why I really appreciate you pushing it out for sure, because the message needs to get out there. And another reason why I do content like this, and I really push the message I try to push, is because I see the big picture of crypto and Web3. I have money invested. I don't have a ton invested. If I lost it all tomorrow, I'm not going to be hurting or anything. So I'm not one of those people that has their life on the line here, like some people do.
I do.
And
yeah. I'm very heavily invested. My future depends on the market going back.
Well, yeah, I definitely hope it goes back, and obviously we're going to have better days, but when I see some of the stuff that gets completely ignored and brushed under the rug, it just drives me nuts. And someone even commented, I think it's the most passionate FUD video he's ever seen, I think. Mm-hmm. And I get it, because like I said, when I see something like this, that I truly think that some of these ecosystems like Solana and some of the crap going on in Ethereum and other stuff, all the meme coins, the junk, is setting back all of Web3 years, if not decades. And it's pushing us to a place where it's giving the politicians so much ammo that they're just going to come in and lay the hammer down and say, you guys can't do this on your own, so we're just going to regulate it all. Mm-hmm. And it's pushing us to a direction we do not want to go. And that's what drives me nuts, because people only care about tomorrow and what their portfolio looks like tomorrow. Not that 2 years from now, we're going to be in fucking 1984.
Right. Exactly.
Dumb.
Exactly.
And that's
and the thing is that what scares me about it is the number of people that are lining up to be burned. And I am very fearful for these people, because a lot of them are newcomers to the space that don't even really know what they're buying or why. They're just following the advice of their neighbor who just bought some, whatever shit coin, that's popular for that 24-hour period before it gets rugged. And and you see the stories of people that win big in that lottery, but you don't hear so much about the people that lose, because it's such a common occurrence for people to lose that it's ignored. And I think that's why so many people brush this stuff under the rug, because they're like, it happens every day. I hear about it all the time. I know about it. It goes in one ear and out the other. But what really sticks with people is, I invested $100 into this shit coin and I made 300x gains in a week. You know what I mean? That's the stuff that resonates. And the thing is that at the same time, I see it in my own metrics, right? Like, I see if I do a bullish video on something, or if I do a price prediction video on something, it always does really, really well. If I say, looks like we're about ready to get a downturn, I'll get a third of the views, because people don't want to be told that something bad is going to happen, especially now. So everybody tunes the bat out, constantly reaching for that. It's like chasing that dragon. And I think Solana should change its name to Dragon Chain, because I feel like that's ultimately what it is. A bunch of people gambling, chasing the dragon, hoping things work out, but expecting to fail. And that's really sad. And that's not at all what blockchain is about. So how old is your channel?
I think only about a year right now. In July. Yeah. They started about a year ago.
So, I'm not one of those guys that, obviously I'm not one of those people where I'm like, oh, the small YouTuber, I don't care about what he has to say. Because what's funny is, I often find that YouTubers that are just getting started, or they don't do a lot of content, or they're not, they don't have 100,000 or 300,000 followers on their channel, are the most pure in their mission. I feel like it's one of two things. It's generally either somebody who's trying to build a channel off of toxicity, calling bigger people out, trying to stir up drama to make themselves relevant, right? Or it's guys like you who are like, I've been researching the hell out of this. I'm very passionate about the space, and here's my work. And I think that's why that video hit me really hard, because it's something that I've tried to do myself, but not with the patience and attention to detail you did, which is why I was all about throwing it everywhere, because it's a message that needed to be sent, and it was information that needed to be shared. And you did it in such a great way that I really hope your channel blows the hell up from that, and you continue to keep pushing forward with updates and following it. But one of the things too, I know I'm talking a lot, but I'm actually excited to get all this out with you. One of the things too is that you didn't have a bias in this. It's not like you have stake in the game. If I would have put that video out everybody would be like, oh, King Cardano's at it again, talking shit about Solana, right? You put it out, people are like, I don't even know who this guy is. And he doesn't seem that he didn't mention Cardano once. He didn't mention any other blockchains. He's just talking about Solana and what a shit show it is and how people are going to get hurt. I think I'm going to pay more attention to this guy, right? So what actually spawned your interest in Solana to begin with? Like, what was it initially that caught your attention to do this whole video?
Great question. So I was an early user. I think I mentioned in the video, I was a user way back in the day, early on, using Radium and Step. I don't even know if Step's still around at this point. This was many years ago. But then I just I started having random issues with it, and then people started sharing whatever random stuff. I started seeing people get drained and started seeing issues. And I dove more into the whole security side of blockchain, user security, and saw some stuff I didn't like there, and continuing going down, learning more about it, learning about the architecture. I'll admit the community kind of rubbed me wrong in many ways. They were very
But they're not a friendly group.
Well, yeah, you say one thing they don't like, and you just get attacked instantly. And cope is their favorite word. I got that over and over again. And so I just kept diving into it. And the more I realized, the more I started just saving all this stuff. And I've been a huge researcher. This is my passion. I love this stuff. I spend probably 16 hours a day researching, writing, doing some form of content education in this field. And I see so many issues with everything going on, from their sustainability to their tech to their marketing, community, everything. And it needs to be said, especially since you pointed out, you're right. When someone comes into this space, they see, what do they look at? The top 10, obviously. And then they quickly realize that, oh, everyone's talking about this and this meme coin, that meme coin. It's getting a lot of traction here. I'm going to go put some money in over here. And some people or very few people make great money, but then you don't hear about all the others, like you said, that get absolutely wrecked. And those people all go tell their friends and family that crypto is a scam. And now we've got millions of people that are afraid to enter the space because of crap like this. And that's why I say it's pushing adoption and everything back because of the lack of not regulation, but just the structure in the space that makes it look like a joke. And no wonder why half of the world or more of the world thinks crypto is a scam and a joke, because it kind of is.
Yeah, it is sad. And that's one of the reasons too why I've changed in my content so much over the years, because I mean, shit, just now, it's a prime example, this Augment. I invested in Augment. It was I thought it was on the Ethereum blockchain. And I'm like, yeah, I'll get into that. And then I get a notification that they're switching to Solana. And after everything is done, oh, we're switching to Solana, add your Solana address and we'll send your tokens when it goes live in 24 hours. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And then now the whole damn Twitter thread is just full of people like, where are my tokens? Why are my tokens worth 90% less than they were when I bought them? Like, the whole thing has become a shit show. And I'm like, I knew the second I got that and that they said this was going to be a Solana thing, I'm like, I'm never going to see that money again. And it's like, that is one of the reasons why I generally do not talk about altcoin projects anymore. I know that people want it, and I get messages all the time, but I'm like, and I will, once my systems are done for like the Crow score and I'm able to just do everything that I want to do the right way. And then I'll talk about the way they score in my system, but I'm not going to share my opinions on most of it. It's just so toxic. And I feel like everything today is some kind of cash grab, and it makes me sick. And it's why I've been sticking to Cardano for so long, because you can say whatever you want about any blockchain out there. You can't say it about Cardano. And it's just like, it doesn't matter that the price doesn't go up 80%, every 2 hours, because it's got a whole like shitcoin circus going on. It's a different animal entirely. And it's like when you see other blockchains that are trying to copy its tech to improve themselves after years and years of existence, you should probably know like they're onto something. You know what I mean? And so it's a safer bet for me. And so and it sucks because so many newcomers are getting in, and they're basically getting in at a time where the economy is shit. The prices for everything has gone up. Everything is a struggle. Everything is more difficult for everyone. And people are more angry. People are more toxic. People are lashing out. Even in amongst influencers, we're seeing more and more toxicity continue to grow as tension rises, and everybody's waiting for that blow up in the market that brings peace to the world and our community again, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got shit like Solana that, for whatever reason, never really seems to go down that much. It always seems to be number go up, and nobody ever seems to question why or how. And they think that it's all because people are just buying up that much meme coin shit that's getting rugged one after the other. And they think that that is sustainable and that that's ultimately what's increasing the price and volume. It's like, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, you can't be that dense. So, like what blockchains are you actually into? And you don't have to say Cardano just because you're here. It's okay. You're in a safe place.
No, I actually am. So I'm a security first kind of person. That's one of my biggest things. And I love how Cardano has a native asset. I'm big on native assets, not smart contract based. So my favorite chain is Multiverse X. I'm also big into Algorand, Cardano. I have a little bit of HBAR, not for a retail chain, but I think they've got a great enterprise approach. What else? Link, and I've got some Ethereum, and it's kind of a staple, I think, of everyone's bag, even though I don't really use it and I don't believe in it. I don't think, not a huge fan of the ETH ecosystem, but you can't FUD where things are going. And I even said to someone earlier today, after my video yesterday, I kind of expected Solana to go up 5 to 10% because, like you just pointed out, the movement really makes absolutely no sense. That you can't explain what's going on sometimes in this industry. It's crazy, and especially when you look at I think there were 12 meme coins in the top 60 or something. Or
what are there, like 50,000 on that chain?
Oh yeah, didn't they release a metric recently saying they do 20,000 tokens a day?
I don't doubt it. It's absolutely, it's insane.
Yeah, they had over 500. They had 500,000 new token launches in May, I believe.
I mean, has anybody ever calculated what the actual odds are of making money in a meme coin on Solana? Like, is it better or worse than actually playing the lottery? Like going out and playing the Powerball for $1? Like, I'd be curious.
Yeah, for your standard person, it's got to be worse because another thing is so many of these are launched by the same people in the same group.
Exactly.
So if you're not an insider, you're screwed right off the bat because if you don't know about the launch within the first hour, you might as well just give up right there because 70%, 80% of the token supply is eaten up by the founders, that their friends and all that.
I mean, it's the same model that founded Solana to begin with, really. It's just they're just rinsing and repeating the whole thing, liquidating all of the users that they're ultimately buying through paid advertisements.
Yep.
And it's like the public is their exit liquidity over and over and over. And it's almost like they all have grown to have this form of Stockholm syndrome where they like defend it, and they're like, oh, how dare you say anything? This is my world. This is my life. I've lost so much money and I'm going to get it back one of these days. How dare you ruin my odds? Yep. And it's just like, dude, you got to go to rehab and get that shit in check. Start adopting blockchains because of the technology and what it's doing for the world, and like really buckle down on learning something instead of like pretty little cartoon pictures on the fucking interwebs, like that are supposedly going to make you rich. It's just like, when do people? It's so crazy to me because you can almost compare it to like the old days. Like if you look at literature from like the 1700s or the 1800s or whatever, and the way everybody wrote and spoke back then compared to what's up, y'all, and like the way shit is now. And it's just like, how did we get dumber? And I feel like when a lot of us were getting started in crypto, it was all about learning the decentralized nature of the tech and understanding how blockchains work and what is Bitcoin mining and what are algorithms. And it's like, now it's like, I just bought a frog token on fucking interwebs. Like, it's just, everybody's gotten stupid. I don't understand what's happening to our world.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's great memes that really depict that, but I don't remember it being like this last
I don't
cycle,
either.
really. At this stage in the last cycle,
It
I'm
was
with
all
you. I don't
DeFi
remember
last
it
cycle.
being. Yeah,
Hmm.
so
Before that,
it's
it was ICOs and then DeFi. And now at the same time, there is a part of me that does understand it. There's a part of me that kind of understands the meme coin thing because, like I said, man, I mean, for the last few years, we're just watching everything get more expensive and people are just reaching for anything they can to get a grip and get a handle on making some kind of money. People are losing their jobs. AI is taking this over, taking that over. So it's just like you've got so many different things disrupting the way our world is ran. And there are a lot of people out there just begging for answers. Like, when are things going to get better? This is terrible. And so many of them, honestly, I feel are so brainwashed that, you know, even the people that are really struggling, they don't want to admit why. And they want to keep pushing forward with these narratives that they bought into. And I feel like those are the people that are easily, I've always been curious how many people on either side of the political aisle can be hypnotized. I've always wondered this because apparently there are a lot of, I know I can't be. I've tried to be hypnotized in so many different things and I can't be hypnotized. And a part of me wonders like how many people that just buy into and accept like headline narratives or whatever the case may be, they adopt these ideologies or these narratives and they just get so sucked into them on an emotional level. And I wonder how easy it is to hypnotize you. And does that play any role into how your mind works? I know that's totally kind of out of left field, but it is something that I really think about all the time. I see people react to things like you said. People were responding to you. I forget what you said they were saying, but like COPE or whatever, like they're defending what they believe and what they think is true, and they're telling you to cope with your FUD or whatever.
That's one of the many Solana community members' favorite word is cope. They'll just respond one word in a message, no matter what the comment was initially. They'll just respond with cope.
Chamath and SBF pumped Solana in the early stages. Any more need to be said? Chamath isn't he like an Indian billionaire? I think something like that.
Yeah, Papatia. Yeah, he was one of the three in the video that I presented. I don't know, probably 35 minutes through, where he's joking around with the other two guys about how he's holding
right,
his $1 billion Solana position.
Where do you think Solana truly goes from here? Like on a realistic level, knowing what you've uncovered and everything that you shared in your videos and things, where do you honestly think Solana goes from here? What do you think? Like I've made the prediction months ago that I truly believe that this is Solana's last market cycle. A part of me wonders how much of Solana and what is playing out within it is how much of it is to be what FTX was supposed to be, but it never grew to the level that it would have the impact that it was meant to. Does that make sense? Like a part of me wonders, like if there was a big coordinated effort to make FTX much, much bigger than it got before it crashed, really ruining the crypto space so that all the politicians could walk in and say, see, we told you so. Now we're taking over. How much, and I can't help but wonder sometimes, like, is that what Solana's supposed to be now? Because nothing about it makes any sense to anyone that's paying attention. And there are so many YouTubers, there's so much money flowing through that ecosystem. And I don't just mean like, I'm talking like people paid to talk about it, people paid to project these narratives about it. Like, I know that there's so many people being paid and making really good money being proponents of this shit show, and they don't seem to care, and they don't seem to change their tone no matter what. And a perfect example is this young kid I see on the news now all the time from TikTok, who's always like, you know, and I'm not trying to be political. I don't know what you are politically. I don't care at all. Like we all are raised in different backgrounds, different everything. We all have our own belief system. But, you know, I swear Biden could literally walk out of the White House, shit on the front house lawn and sit in it and play with it. And this kid would absolutely defend him and say, well, he's just trying to be creative. Like it wouldn't matter what the guy did.
Harry J. Sisson or
Yes.
Tyson or whatever. Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
exactly. And I'm
Yep.
like, we all know he's getting paid. We know he's making really good money for a 21-year-old kid
Oh yeah.
to perpetuate all this bullshit of his. And I feel like the same thing is happening with Solana influencers. And I feel like they're just a pawn in this overall game of chess. And I'm really curious, like, when does the game end and how does it end? And I'm curious if you had any thoughts on that.
I do. I definitely have a ton, and some that people would probably say are even borderline conspiracy theory, but they were obviously close with FTX and Alameda. There's no denying that. And I've said for a while now that I believe if Sam was never in the picture, FTX, all that, Solana never would have been even top 25, maybe not even top 50. But I believe that everything he did really pushed it high by just everything that went on. But even beyond the influencers, I wouldn't be entirely surprised if there's some bigger hands at play that are like politicians. That a lot of us think they're stupid, but they're not stupid. Politicians, they're 3 steps ahead of us when it comes to chess. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're the ones that are behind some stuff like this, knowing that they're just going to fall for it. We're just going to lead them exactly where we want them to go. And then we're going to crack down on it later. So we have exactly what we want. And that's one of the things that gets me so worked up is I do see that kind of playing out right now. We're playing right into the hands of turning Web3 right back into a centralized Web2 version that they have complete control over. But to your original question on where it's going, I definitely agree. I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. I could definitely see it being at the last big cycle. Maybe it still goes up to 600, 800, who knows, maybe even 1,000, like some people predict. I can't explain any of the price movement. It seems like most people can't. So if it does go up to 1,000, I wouldn't be terribly shocked. But where I think it belongs and where it should be is nowhere near where it's at.
Right. Yeah, I do. I really do. I just shared a comment. Solana collapse will be the catalyst to end the bull run September of 2025. And I think to myself, that's very plausible. I mean,
yeah.
And I also do believe that the administration and the office at the time is going to play a big factor in how things work out. You know, if we have a pro crypto administration, then we'll work through it. If we have an anti-crypto administration that is somehow finagling a lot of this stuff, well, then of course they're going to use it to put a lot of new lockdowns and control on the space that'll ultimately be a detriment to everyone. And it's just like, when, a lot of people criticize politicians for looking at the public as a bunch of sheep, right? Like they think we're stupid. No, they know most of us are like that. Let's just be real about it. Yeah. They know most people are stupid. And when you see people that are like out touting things like Solana, like, oh, COPI, whatever, you're exactly the person that these politicians thrive on because you have no sense. So you're the exact kind of person that relies on headlines to understand what's going on in the world. You don't read into anything. You don't really think for yourself. You just crack open your Budweiser. You watch a couple of news clips and read a few headlines and you consider yourself educated. And then you just regurgitate whatever the fuck your friends are saying at the campfire. And that's your religion for the next week until the following Sunday. And I feel like that's the life of so many people. And it's gotten worse because so many people have to work more than one job. More people are having to put more time into just making a living. So it's like, to some extent, it's all by design, right? We're going to make your lives more difficult. You're going to have to rely on us more. If you want our help, you're going to keep your mouth shut. You're going to let us do what we want to do. We're going to funnel money into this and that, and our friends and our campaign contributors and all of that to continue our careers in politics. But at the same time, we're going to make sure you have no fucking way out. And when you think you have a way out, we're going to slam the door in your face and say, we fucking told you so. Don't think you're going to try that again. And that is truly the way I look at Solana. And I really see Solana it's going to be a really big metal door slammed in the faces of a lot of people. And then they're going to have somebody else to point the finger at, right? They're going to blame everybody but themselves for being ignorant, blaming everybody but themselves for just, not paying attention and not hearing the calls and not seeing the red flags and just not seeming to care about anything other than, number go up. I'm not even convinced that it's going to go until the bull peak. I think you were talking about Jump and their investigation. What all do you know about that? Because I think that was the first time I'd seen anything about anybody from that camp being investigated. Do you know any more than you shared in your video? Like what's the situation with that?
It's still relatively new and it hasn't really gone very far. I think the initial announcement only came out a couple months ago, and you know how things with the CFTC and the legal world works, and it'll be a multi-year process before anything probably comes out, or if they do anything. So yeah, there's not really much I think that can be said or found on it. But the what was it? The CEO did step down shortly after it happened, and there's just plenty for them to look into, and a lot that we've seen over the years. There was a lot of people put together the pieces connecting FTX and Luna years ago, and well, Jump was in that picture as well.
This is interesting. Conspiracy theory. Solana is named after, I guess, Javier Solana for his work with Ukraine for the UN. Ukraine war ends, Solana crashes.
Interesting. I haven't heard that one.
I've never heard that one either. That's an interesting take. BitBoy said, Mr. X said they are keeping ADA down. I don't know who Mr. X is.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I have wondered if Cardano is being intentionally suppressed somehow.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of theories on that as well.
Yeah, I mean, because their whole narrative is built around how Solana is better than Cardano, and it's like I have to wonder. That's also one of the reasons why I'm really anxiously awaiting the Chang hard fork. Let's Chang the world, because I'm like, what happens when we can open up that treasury and start fighting back?
Yeah, you guys got a massive treasury too. Isn't it over $1 billion?
It's like 1.5 billion ADA, but at the time, I'm hoping to see something close to 80 cents to $1 ADA by the end of August. And if that's the case, then yeah, it'll be $1.5 billion, and ready to go. So a lot of people have been asking me, like, why don't you put a marketing proposal down so everybody can vote on how we can start marketing it? And I'm like, I really do need to work on that. I have so many other things that I'm doing at the moment, but I do want to do that because we need a really consistent daily marketing plan where we're able to really start touting our own narrative, man. And it's just something that Charles has never been able to do. You know what I mean? You can't say that this is a decentralized blockchain and then pump a bunch of money into marketing it as an asset. It just doesn't work that way. So, but at the same time, everything that Cardano has done to date has been done on its own freaking merit. So that's the difference between where Cardano is. It's basically been just idling through, developing its milestones in every way it said it's going to, while everyone else is spending millions and millions and millions of dollars trying to build the hype around themselves. And so it's just like, what happens when this blockchain that has gotten this far on its own merit, solely based on merit and just a few of us talking about it, growing in numbers over the years, of course, but like where do we end up? That's what I'm curious. And how much can they suppress the price of ADA at a time when everybody's really opening their eyes? And it's honestly a big part of why this whole expose of yours is such a big deal, because I wish there was a way to get this out to like 1 million people in the crypto space overnight. I really do, because you did such a hell of a job on it. And
thanks.
I can see you're definitely up in subs. You're at 1.74 thousand. How
wow.
do you not be? How are you not at like 10,000 yet? I mean, that's insane. It's gonna happen. When do you think your follow up is coming? Like, how long do you think it'll be until you've got everything else down into a nice video?
Good question. The majority of what I still have, not the majority, but at least 50-60% of what I have is more of what I shared. So I don't know if it'll still make for decent content, but I could have just shared for 45 minutes straight different charts of meme coins that rugged or that were completely manipulated, and that just, I think I showed 3 or 4, so I didn't feel like really needing to show too much more. So
I would be interested, like even if you had like an every Friday, like what there isn't a day that rhymes with R or rug, but you know, like a rug pull weekend or something like that, where you kind of update everybody on all of the losses and all of the rug pulls on Solana for the week. That would be some funny shit. That would be the kind of thing I think everybody would tune into and just be like, what happened? I bought this one. Oh, I see that one went down. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's not a bad idea. Yeah, it could be a good series for sure.
I think it would be a great. I would watch it. I would watch it every damn weekend. I'd be like, hell yeah, I'm going to see what this guy's got.
And there's definitely plenty to support it too.
Yeah, man. Is there anything else that you've got going on? You know, like what you say you're an educator. What are you an educator of? Like a school teacher or college or?
No. So my wife's a teacher, or she was actually. She left teaching a few years ago. I've always been in, I own gyms, and I was a personal trainer for 20 years. So
okay, my wife used to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's the education background that I have. Plus, I've always just been big on learning. I've always loved reading, and I had a background in computer science as well. So as soon as I got introduced to Web3 and crypto, I just fell in love because it's technology with financial freedom and just everything I like about Web 2. So that's kind of where that comes from. And it's a fascinating field, and it's going to go so far. We're still early. I don't know. I know some people don't like to say that, or even think that, but we really are. If you think just a week or two ago, someone wanted to get in on an NFT project that I'm moderately involved in, and he had never used blockchain at all. It took probably 30 to 45 minutes for me to walk him through downloading MetaMask, setting up Matic on it, getting Matic into his chain or getting into his wallet, and then doing all the settings, connecting to the site. And like, if it's like that, just to get a NFT, we got a long ways to go. And there are obviously better user interfaces and technology out there, but that's what people are coming into the space on right now. They're coming in from Coinbase or whatever, and they're going to BNB and Matic and Sol, Base, which is your ultimate. It's BNB version 2, centralized version.
Right.
So that drives me nuts. And seeing the Ethereum community just completely give up everything they've been fighting for the past few years, and that their biggest talking point and selling point for the past years was how ETH is so decentralized and no one can compete with it. And now they're all promoting centralized L2s. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I feel very, very strongly that Cardano is going to reach a point where everybody just wakes up and realizes, you know, they should have just been a part of that ecosystem from the beginning. And, you know, I don't really say that as, I mean, I am so committed to Cardano because of everything that it's done, everything that it's doing, and I believe everything that it's going to do. It's not, you know, I'm not into Cardano because like, oh, I bought some cheap and I'm just waiting for the moon. It's never been about, I've been a part of it since 2017 when it was nothing, against the grain, against all of the FUD and the doubters and everybody that had something bad to say because they held bags for something else. So it's just like, you don't establish that kind of passion just because, you know, you're just trying to be greedy or you think you're smart. It's not how this shit works. But if you're really paying attention to things, it's really difficult to deny what's going on. And I do believe there's going to be a major transition in the crypto space at some point. And, you know, I'm definitely waiting for midnight. I'm also waiting for Apex Fusion to kick off. I'm still waiting for them. I'm supposed to have a call with them over the last 2 days. We haven't had it yet. Cause I'm like, let's get where these updates at? Everybody asks me in every chat, like, what's new with Apex? I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, cause they haven't told me anything yet. They're just heads down coding and working on getting everything prepared. So, I also know they're going to be out at Rare Evo. Are you going to be at Rare Evo in Vegas?
No, unfortunately, don't make it out to too many events. Got 2 little kids and don't get out to too many right now.
Yeah, no, I understand that for sure. I don't get around either. I'm just a giant ogre. I hate traveling. So I figure for Rare Evo, I wasn't even going to go to Rare Evo, but Charles told me, he's like, you got to come to Rare Evo. He's like, we got to meet. I'm like, all right, I'll go. You told me I'm going to go. So yeah, listen, man, I'm definitely glad to have had an opportunity to chat with you. And you've got a new fan in me. I'm going to be tuning in and seeing what you've got coming up next. And you know, if you ever need anything at all, never hesitate to reach out. I'm more than welcome to have you on. We'll talk about anything. We definitely need more people willing to kind of stand up and share what's really going on and actually put the effort that you put into that video into telling the real story of things, as opposed to, like, I wish CoffeeZilla would look, you know, like, where's CoffeeZilla? I saw a comment in your video, like, that's a video CoffeeZilla wouldn't even do. And I'm just like, you know, CoffeeZilla is a powerhouse in the space. Like, just, you know, I don't even know what to say about that guy. I swear to God, he looks like he's 15. I don't know how old he is, but I know he's got to be in his late 20s at this point. Because I've been watching his videos now for a while, but he doesn't seem to grow a day older. But I'm like, CoffeeZilla needs to do something on this, man, and really deep dive. He seems to have people that send him stuff and connect dots for him and bleed him into different directions so that he can. I would be fascinated by what he's able to do with, like, content from your video following up. But I don't know how much of a deep dive, like, crypto sleuth he is. I think he's more just like general, like, scam, like, you know, like the Paul brothers. And I don't know, but I would love to see him do something where, like, if he came out and he said, you know what, I researched all this stuff and I think Solana's fine, I might believe him. Like, I might be like, okay, because he would at least tell me all the reasons why. But I really don't think that would be the case at all. I think he would do a deep dive and come back and just vomit all over his camera trying to record the video and be like, I can't do this. So I don't know. I'm curious.
Yeah, and most people won't do those deep dives, and that's fine. And it's, especially since a lot of it is fairly technical. So,
right.
And blockchain is a very technical thing. So if you don't want to dive into that or learn that side of it, there's a lot you're not going to be able to kind of digest. So I don't expect people to really do that, but it would be nice if, like yourself, they would just share it. And I saw so many big names tagged in the post or that it was shared to, and none of them would mention it one bit. And that's mostly because a lot of them are shilling it half the time. Right. And I know a lot of them have really heavy bags, and that's just where we're at in the industry right now. It's like you said, they'd rather make the next buck than protect their million followers.
Yeah, and I really hope that starts to change. I really do. I really hope that people start. Well, I'm telling you, I'm doing everything I can. I want everybody to watch this damn video of yours, and I want all these influencers to watch it. I know, and I believe that there are some influencers that they like Solana because the fees are cheap. It's really fast. And, you know, in their eyes, they're having fun, right? And it's like, okay, cool. But I've always felt that as a YouTuber, we have a really big responsibility to the people that put their trust in watching us. So much so that I've shut down a lot of things that I've talked about in the past because I just don't want my viewers to, like, be exposed to certain things. And I don't ever want, it's like, I have this weird, and maybe it's ego, but I have this weird thing where I want everybody that watches my channel to be stupid fucking rich in a few years. And that, like, you know, everywhere I go, I've got millionaires like, yo, Crow, look at my car, dog. Like, you know what I mean? I want everybody to be happy and blissfully rich and just, like, they have the power to do whatever they want in the world. Like, that is truly why I'm on YouTube. And, like, hopefully I can change my life as well, right alongside everybody. Like, we all just grow together. And, like, I, for the life of me, can't fathom the idea that I would take something like Solana and they would come to me and offer me any amount of money and be like, well, if you just shut the fuck up, Crow, you don't even have to say you like it. Just shut the fuck up and we'll give you $1 million a month, you know? And it's just like, I couldn't do it. I know I couldn't do it. I'd be like, you know what? I told myself from day one in high school, I'm never going to sell my soul to make $1. And I really, truly wish, and I'm curious to see how many YouTubers will watch your video and continue pushing Solana after that, knowing everything that you exposed. So, because I mean, the ones that do, I have no respect for. I don't give a shit who they are. I know all of them, and I'm putting it out there right now. Like, if I see these guys and they're all out there touting Solana and pushing their followers into the meme coins and all of the bullshit, I have no respect. Like, because it's just like you're setting your people up to fail. It's obvious they're not making any money because, like you said, there's a handful of people making money consistently, hand over fist, over and over and over. And it's just not about empowering the public to do anything special. It's a shit coin selling shit coins, and you've got shitty people selling them. And I don't want any part to do with any of them, which is why I'm more than happy spending my time with somebody with, 1,000 followers or a couple thousand subscribers on YouTube than somebody that's got 300, 500, 600, or a million, that's promoting shit that I think is going to get their viewers burned. There's definitely a hell of a lot more honor in what you're doing, and I commend you for it.
I appreciate it. Did you see
the
Flow Research article that came out today?
Flow Research? No.
Yeah, I'll share that with you. But someone put out a long article today that kind of mimicked a lot of what my video was. And I don't think he had even seen my video. So it was completely on his own, or Flip Research. I could send it to you.
Okay.
Let's see.
I just did a Google search. Oh, you're bringing food up? What's this?
But it's a great article to check out. He goes over a lot of the same stuff.
I don't know what that is.
You can put. Sorry, my wife just came into my office with food. I have no idea what this even is. It's bubbling. Is it? Oh, it's pasta. I thought it was a bowl of bananas with stuff on them. Thank you, dear. Put it in the fridge, though. I'll eat it later. I just handed her a big old steak I couldn't finish. Sorry, go ahead. I was actually just I was pulling it up.
Yeah, I just sent it to you through Twitter, DM.
Oh,
and
okay.
It's a decently long article that covers a lot of the same stuff, and he touches on a lot of the manipulation, but he covers some stuff that I didn't get to as well, which is great. So
right,
definitely worth a read. And it went viral today as well. It got over 1,100 likes.
I just
half
posted
a million views. Yeah, it's a great article, and it was kind of cool seeing that come out just like 10 hours after my video, knowing that it had nothing to do with my video, just that someone else is seeing the same stuff that I'm seeing and sharing.
Oh yeah, he didn't do this right. I mean, this is a lot of work. I'm scrolling down, scrolling down. I'm going to go through all of this. Son of a gun, man. I mean, this is fantastic. I just posted it in the chat so that everyone else can go right to it as well. Because yeah, man, I just people need to know. I mean, and I almost feel like everybody that's touting this shit needs to be shamed for it at this point, because there's no way to defend it at this point, right? There's no way to be like, oh, well, maybe, or, oh, well, you feel that way, but I feel this way, because there is no because. It's all right there. So,
they still try, though. I had a couple on the space this afternoon. One of them, their argument is he's pointing out statistics on how often Amazon goes down or T-Mobile goes down, and he's saying that Solana going down 11 times is no big deal. And then they're bringing up stats about how most stock trades are all automated or bots, and it just they're really reaching with a lot of their arguments, which is
what choice do they have when the facts are literally stacking up against the narrative that you buy into? At what point, like, what is the breaking point? How many people are out there thinking, well, they're just, so what if they're faking it till they make it? They're going to make it eventually. Look how much the volume this is. Even though it's all pretty much fabricated, as proven in your video. And it's just like, now is a time where people can escape it. You know what I mean? It's not like everybody's so trapped in. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people, the majority of people in Solana, are at some form of profit. So it's just like, if you want to protect yourself, I would just tell people, at the very least, pay real close attention. Just pay real close attention. You know, because I like anything else in crypto. I feel like things that are super dramatic happen overnight and often happen before you wake up in the morning. And it's like, it depends on what part of the world you're in. But, you know, I can assure people that those in the know, who are very, very few and far between, but have much more to lose than the rest of the people that are working the meme coin markets, they're going to be the first to act before everyone else does. And so I'm going to expect that if Solana runs into a position where it is about to implode, it's going to be after a huge look at how great we are. Look at the amazing things that we've got coming right around the corner. You better get in now. And then all the exit liquidity is going to start lining up, ready to get crushed. And then all these guys are going to start dumping. And that's sadly what's going to be what happens. And a lot of people are just going to be like, I had no idea. And you know, at that point, I can't feel bad for them, because at this point you have to choose to turn your head and look away, hoping that you have a brighter day. And I you know, I'm a poet and didn't know it. I'm not even trying. So anyway, yeah, I've got to go read this damn article you just sent me. So
yeah, it's a good one. You'll like it.
Yeah. Yeah, man, anytime you want to come on, you just let me know. I'm more than happy to have you. And I'm gonna bring you into the influencer group as well. There's about 257 people in there, and it could be good for you to collaborate. Yeah, because I can speak really well. I'm not on YouTube because I'm smart. But yeah, I'm gonna pull you into this group if you don't mind, and just give you an opportunity to meet a lot of other people that'll work with you and shit, man, do a little run around all the other YouTubers that'll bring you on and talk about this damn video and get it to 50,000 views. How about that?
Hey, I'm game. And yeah, for sure. I'm open to it.
All right. Good deal. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us tonight. I am the Crypto Crow here with my guest, DBCrypto. DB, thank you for joining me. It's been real, man. I look forward to your next video, 100%. Anything else you want to plug or promote real quick before we sign out?
Oh, if we were going that direction, I'd take too long. So no, I'm not gonna shill or promote anything. But no, I appreciate again you having me on, and just helping spread the message, because it's what's gonna help us move to the next level and really push Web3 forward, is really getting past some of this stuff.
Getting past it, indeed. Hopefully that's exactly what we can do. And hopefully, you know, man, listen, if your video and this article and what we're doing help save a handful of people from significant losses in the future, my hope is that, you know, maybe we're all wrong. Maybe we're all wrong. It works through all the issues and things turn around someday and it becomes like a fantastic thing for everybody and everyone thrives. But I don't think if it hasn't changed yet, I doubt it's going to anytime soon. So I guess we'll see. So until next time, guys and gals, thanks for joining us. Crow your coins, and I'll see you again soon.